Asbestos Awareness and Management Program. Asbestos Awareness. Purpose: to describe the Asbestos Awareness and Management Program. This program addresses the potential adverse health effects due to asbestos exposure. Relevant OSHA, EPA, local and state regulation discussed. When should training be presented? Annually. Additional training upon request. Who should attend? Applicable to all personnel involved in any area of account or facility where asbestos has been identified as existing. All current employees, including maintenance personnel who work in an area containing identified asbestos containing materials. Introduction. Asbestos, once the solution to thousands of industrial needs, is now considered a leading respiratory health hazard. It has been shown to cause various forms of cancer, including asbestosis, an emphysema-like condition, and mesothelioma, cancer of the lining of the lung and abdominal cavity. Who can come in contact with asbestos? Housekeeping services, custodial, and maintenance personnel. Asbestos has been shown to cause various forms of cancer, lung cancer, asbestosis, an emphysema condition, mesothelioma, cancer of the lining of the lungs and abdominal cavity. Today's objectives. This training is designed to provide you with an awareness of asbestos, its health effects, and what you can do to prevent exposure. What is asbestos? Where asbestos is located? Health effects of asbestos and asbestos exposure. Asbestos relating to hazard communication. Recognizing damage and deterioration. Housekeeping requirements. Safe work practices. Smoking cessation program information. When is asbestos a danger? Asbestos becomes a danger to you when asbestos fibers are released into the air and they are breathed in and or ingested. Follow good safe work practices and good housekeeping, and by reporting any damage or disturbance to asbestos containing materials, you can prevent exposure. What is asbestos? Asbestos is a naturally occurring mineral that is usually excavated from open pit mines. The asbestos rock is crushed to form free fibers. Three most common types of asbestos found in today's commercial and industrial applications include chrysotile. This is the most commonly used asbestos. It is highly resistant to heat. It can also be easily spun into cloth. It is commonly called white asbestos. Amosite, commonly referred to as brown asbestos. Amosite is highly resistant to heat and acids. It has been used mainly in bulk form for heat insulation and molded into pipe insulation. Chrysotile. This asbestos is highly resistant to acid and is used mainly to make battery cases and acid-resistant cement pipes. It is commonly referred to as blue asbestos. Two forms of asbestos. 1. Friable asbestos. It can be crumbled, pulverized, or reduced to powder by hand pressure. Because it is easily crumbled, friable asbestos is more likely to release fibers into the air. Examples include sprayed-on materials used for fireproofing, insulation, or soundproofing. Number 2. Non-friable asbestos. It does not usually release airborne fibers unless it is subjected to cutting, sanding, or grinding. Materials such as vinyl asbestos, floor tile, or roofing felts are considered non-friable. Where is asbestos located? Patching compounds manufactured before 1977 for use in patching some walls and ceiling joints. Vinyl floor tiles to strengthen them and on backing of some vinyl flooring. Wall and ceiling insulation. Fluffy, friable asbestos sprayed on ceiling tiles for fireproofing protection. Troweled onto ceilings, on walls as an acoustical or decorative treatment. Insulation around pipes, heating ducts, furnaces, and boilers. Roof shingles, sliding shingles, and sheets manufactured with asbestos. Sprayed on steel reinforcing beams as fireproofing. Used for brake linings and clutch pads. Where is asbestos located at your facility? The unit must describe where asbestos containing materials, ACM, and potential asbestos containing materials, PACM, are commonly found. Lincoln Junior High School, Old High Middle School, R.E. Baker Elementary, Thomas Jefferson Elementary, and Washington Junior High School all contain asbestos. Please get with your manager for more specifics. Health effects. In a bonded state, asbestos is not a threat to you. It's only when materials that contain asbestos are damaged, disturbed, or deteriorating and the asbestos fibers are released into the air that they are a danger to your health. Activities to guard against: drilling, sawing mechanical abrasion or sanding, or the installation of cables, ducts, and other systems which must be attached to the structure of the building for support may cause fibers to be released and become airborne. How exposure occurs. You breathe airborne asbestos. It then gets trapped in your lungs, nose, and throat. It becomes embedded in the alveoli, the tiny air sacs in your lungs that are surrounded by blood vessels. Over a period of time, scar tissue forms which reduces the alveoli's ability to pass oxygen into the bloodstream. Physical disability and or possible death can occur. Facts about asbestos. Asbestos fibers are too small to be seen by the human eye. It enters the body through inhalation, breathing in fibers. It can cause a reduction in the body's ability to pass oxygen into the bloodstream. Symptoms may not develop immediately. It may take 20 to 30 years to occur. Smoking fact check. Smokers who have been exposed to asbestos may have as much as 90 times greater risk of getting cancer than a worker that does not smoke. Hazard communication, HAZCOM. Employers and building owners are required to inform you about the presence and location of asbestos-containing materials, ACM, or presumed asbestos-containing materials, PACM. Building owners are also required to keep records of all known information about the presence, location, and quantity of ACM and PACM in the building or facility. The hazards of asbestos are communicated to you in 3 ways: warning signs, warning labels, safety data sheets. or SDS. Warning signs. They will be placed at all approaches to regulated areas, such as areas where asbestos removal work is being performed, to prevent unauthorized persons from entering. Signs must state the following: danger, contains asbestos fibers, avoid dust, cancer and lung disease hazard. Labels. Warning labels must be placed on all raw materials, mixtures, scrap, waste, debris, and other products containing asbestos fibers or their containers. They should say danger, contains asbestos fibers, avoid dust, cancer and lung disease hazard. Safety data sheets, SDS. Manufacturers and importers of asbestos or asbestos products are required to maintain an SDS on asbestos. Unless the asbestos fibers have been modified by bonding agent, coating, binder, or other material, and if the release of asbestos fibers does not exceed the permissible exposure limits, PEL. Damage and deterioration, water damage, aging and degradation of bonding agents, vibration, impact, such as striking, cutting, or penetrating, air vents that blow directly onto friable materials. Damage and deterioration continued. Deterioration includes debris on horizontal surfaces, hanging materials, cracks, scrapes, and marks, missing or dislodged material, friable materials or dust on the floor or other surfaces, stains due to water damage, or evidence of ACM in air ducts. Avoid any ACM that is damaged. Know where asbestos is located in your building. If you find materials that could contain asbestos, notify your supervisor. Do not disturb. If you see any asbestos containing materials that have been disturbed, report the damage immediately to the risk manager. Housekeeping requirements. Never sand flooring containing asbestos. Strip floor finishes using wet method and low abrasion pads at speeds lower than 300 RPM. Only burnish or buff flooring that contains asbestos if the floor has enough finish so that the pad cannot contact the ACM. Never dust, dry sweep, or use an ordinary vacuum, one without a HEPA filter, on flooring in an area that contains thermal system insulation, surfacing ACM or PACM, or visibly deteriorating ACM. Safe work practices. Never drill holes or hammer nails in walls or ceilings that contain asbestos. Never hang plants or anything else from ceilings or pipes covered with asbestos materials. Do not disturb asbestos materials when replacing light bulbs. Never hang pictures on walls covered with asbestos materials. Avoid damaging asbestos materials when moving furniture. Do not let curtains, drapes, or dividers damage asbestos materials. Avoid touching or disturbing ceilings and walls covered with asbestos materials. When removing air filters, never shake filter. It is best not to remove the filter dry. Mist the filter with water first. Always properly dispose of filters. Safe work practices continued. Proper precautions and work practices when working around ACM or PACM include: follow appropriate safe work practices, follow emergency and cleanup procedures, utilize appropriate personal protective equipment. This will differ by unit based on the suspected ACM or PACM on site. For smoking cessation program information for asbestos, get with your manager and we will give you a printout. Questions.